Namo Buddhaya and welcome to Fundamentals of Buddha-Dhamma. This is week 1, session 2, and our teacher today would be Bhante Ananda. So with that, I just wanted to request Bhante Anand to please start today's session. Bhante.
Namo Buddhaya to everybody, and we will begin today's session with paying homage to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisadhamma sarathi tattha deva manusanang buddho bhagavati namo tassa samma sambuddhassa. Swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko yehi passiko opanayiko pacchatang veditabbo vinyuhiti namo tassa niyanika sadhammasa supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Vujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala Yesa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo Anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyakhetang lokasati Namo tassa atta ariya puggala mahasanghassa Yevang buddhang sarantanang dhammang sanghang cha bhikkhavo bhayang vacham bhitatang va domahang so nahe satiti. All the participants, my dear, if there are any venerable monks, I pay respect, and all the upasakas and upasikas, welcome to this second session of this course. It's a great blessing that we have chance to come together on this internet, in this technology. Though this technology has limitations, but still we have to thank everyone who has made this technology available and everyone who has organized it here, as well as in Anna, our Pankaj and all the team. And may we all grow in this path Yesterday we covered two important aspects of this course, that is what is Buddhism and the nature of the Buddha. And today I'm sure you also got, most of you have got small points on these topics, and also for today. Today we are going to take up the nature of the Dhamma and the nature of the Sangha. Now these are very, very fundamental aspects of Buddha-Dhamma. If we don't understand the very foundations, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, then what are we going to do? Therefore, uh, today let us focus on this Dhamma and Sangha. Dhamma simply means the teachings of the Buddha, the word of the Buddha, Buddha Desana or Buddha Vachana. That's all. Dhamma means truth. Dhamma means that which is there. The Dhamma means the intrinsic nature. So there are these different meanings. So Dhamma as truth, Dhamma as the ultimate truth, that is what the Buddha has taught. Nothing but truth. Because the ultimate goal of Buddha Dhamma is realization of truth. So this Dhamma means the teaching of the truth, knowing of the truth, realizing of the truth. So in different ways, this word is used in different contexts. But here, let us take it as Dhamma, the teachings of the Supreme Buddha, who taught it out of immense compassion. Because of this purpose only, he fulfilled the 10 paramis and became the fully enlightened Buddha. Otherwise, there was no reason for him to become Buddha. If he wanted to become an Arahant, already he was matured enough at the feet of the Supreme Dipankara Buddha when he requested, when he gave up that possibility of becoming Arahant, and instead he requested for the blessings to become Samma Sambuddha. And Dipankara Buddha, foreseeing the abilities and the capacities, gave the blessings and Niyata Vyakarana, that is affirmation that he will become Buddha one day, only for the purpose of teaching. That whole mission was undertaken only for the purpose of teaching and liberating countless beings. That was driven by unlimited compassion. So that is how the teaching of the Dhamma by the Buddha is the culmination of his mission of compassion. As Bodhisattva, he has fulfilled these paramis to become Samma Sambuddha, only to teach the Dhamma. So this Dhamma arose in his heart under the Bodhi tree when he became fully enlightened Buddha on the Vaishaka full moon day. And since then, whatever came into his mind and whatever came out of the holy lips of our Supreme Buddha, all that is Dhamma. The Buddha did not utter even one useless word. Whatever he spoke, it was for the purpose of somebody's well-being. So this Dhamma becomes Dhamma for us when we understand it and when we practice it, when we undertake it. Dhareti, that which we dharan karna, that means that which we undertake, put into our life, then it becomes truly Dhamma for our good. Now this Dhamma, the Buddha started teaching formally in Isipatana in Sarnath with the Dhammacakka Pavattana Sutta. Before that also he gave advices, but as his teaching, he started in Sarnath with Dhammacakka Pavattana Sutta. Dhammacakka, the wheel of Dhamma. Pavattana started rolling, setting in motion the wheel of truth. That is the name of the teaching. And this Dhamma, which started flowing from this enlightened heart of the Buddha, out of immeasurable compassion, this went on for 45 years, till under the Sala trees in Kushinara, when the Supreme Buddha spoke the last words. Till then, everything is the teachings of the Buddha. These are not one or two or three. 84,000 Dhammakanda, they are called. 84,000, not one or two. Even if you start reading, understanding one thing a day, whole life is not enough. So many the Buddha was giving. So now this Dhamma that our Supreme Buddha taught was of very different variety. That is because of the variety of the human beings and also the variety of other beings like divine beings and other beings. So the Buddha had to see the mental capacity, mental level, the maturity of the spiritual faculties. What are the hindrances they are facing? Oh, so many things. And accordingly, he preached the Dhamma. And whenever he preached the Dhamma, there was a very magnificent result coming out of it. Mostly people, one or two or three or sometimes hundreds, thousands, lakhs, they became enlightened. They could see they could taste the Nibbana then and there, just listening in front of the Supreme Buddha. So these teachings were collected. Now these teachings, I will explain you how these precious teachings came to till our time. But before that, these teachings have very special qualities. Let us understand these qualities first. Then you will know the preciousness of these qualities. The Buddha's Dhamma, the special qualities of the Dhamma, are taught by the Supreme Buddha himself. And not only that, he said this is called Dhammanupassana, Dhammanusati, Buddhanusati, Dhammanusati, Sanghanusati. These are anusatis, those qualities into your heart. You can bring them into memory. You can bring them into your heart and make them present just right with you. And our Supreme Lord doesn't tell something without any reason. So when you do this Buddhanusati, Dhammanusati, Sanghanusati, you can feel the presence of the Buddha, presence of the Dhamma, and presence of the Sangha. So the Buddha taught what are the noble qualities of the Dhamma. Now this Dhamma is Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditthiko Akaliko Yehi Passiko Opanayiko Pachatang Veditabbo Vinyuhiti. There are 6 wonderful qualities of this Dhamma. The first one is Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo. Swakhato, that means very, very well taught. Suakhato, it is taught fully, completely. Why it is said? Dhamma, the real truth, the real nature, that is always taught completely, very well by the Supreme Buddha. Why it is well taught? Why it is said that it is well taught? Because it brings at every level only goodness, goodness, goodness. Only progress. There is no such thing as regress, loss by practicing this Dhamma. So this is the Dhamma. It is very well taught because it brings goodness in the beginning. All the things that brings goodness in the beginning. Beginning means what? As soon as you start taking refuge and as soon as you start practicing precepts, that is taught very nicely in its totality, with different examples, with different similes, with different live happenings. Oh, not one or two. In how many ways our Supreme Buddha had to explain about Shila itself. It is well taught in the middle, Samadhi. It is well taught in the end, Panya. Every aspect of the Dhamma, if you see, every aspect of Dhamma is equally beneficial. You take it in any kind of your practice. That practice, whether you are in the beginning of it or in the middle of it or in the end of it. You start with your practice of Shila and Samadhi, and you continue with your Panya, and you will land in Nibbana, enlightenment. What a wonderful end. Now this is taught in different ways, with different explanations. You know, the Buddha's teachings are contained in Tripitaka. Now this whole Tripitaka, if we see, there are different modes and methods the Buddha used. One is sutta, like the discourses, normal discourses. And the other is the gaya, that means there are poetry and prose, both mixed up, so that the listener is inspired in between with poetry, the explanations. And then he had this gathas. He used the gathas. He used explanations, detailed explanations. And then he used udanas, that means exclamations, joyful utterances. And he used uh, what we call iti uttaka, that means thus said uh, teachings. And then he used jataka, the stories of his past lives, because many incidents happened and people asked why it is happening. Everything has some causes and conditions. So that he had to explain through jatakas why these causes and conditions have come from long past. And then he also explained in the form of analysis, in the form of question answer, all these different aspects in 9 ways. Navanga Buddha Sasana, they are called. So 9 ways. Now these are all the modes, the skillful ways the Supreme Lord Buddha has used to penetrate into the minds of the listeners. And this capacity, the Supreme Buddha got because of his intense practice of this paramis, fulfillment of paramis out of compassion. So when you have compassion, you might have experienced in your life. When you have real concern, real compassion, and you want to help somebody, even if just say somebody's car is broken and it is broken down and you want to help that person. When you have genuine compassion, genuine uh, determination to help that person, somehow you will find the different methods, different tools, different whatever is available, you will use it and somehow you will set it right. Isn't it so? The power of compassion is really unlimited, and when it is added with wisdom, then we can see that beauty of Buddha's expressions in different ways. The whole of Tripitaka is nothing but this. Apart from the Dhamma, we can see how skillful and how kind our Buddha was. So this is Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo. It is beneficial in the beginning as Shila, beneficial in the middle as Samadhi, beneficial in the end as Panya. It is beneficial in many, many different ways. We can say this beginning, middle, and end of practice. Even in your small daily practice, if you start putting the Buddha and putting flowers, if you start that, it starts bringing joy then and there, benefit in the beginning. And then as if you do puja and if you do meditation, benefit in the middle. And when you feel that satisfaction, benefit in the end. So this is so simple. You can see that. You can, whenever you do that, you can experience. So this Dhamma is Adi Kalyanang, Majje Kalyanang, Pariyosana Kalyanang. In fact, the Buddha, after his enlightenment, after his teaching to the 5 monks in Sarnath, then he stays there for this Vasa, what we are doing now, 3 months Vasa. And at that time, he also teaches Yasa, young Yasa, who was the son of Sujata Mataji. Sujata was the one who gave payasa under the Bodhi tree, under a banyan tree near Bodhi tree in Buddha-Gaya on the day of enlightenment. This Sujata Mataji's son, that Yasa. He was young, around 20 years or so. That Yasa, he also comes to Sarnath and then he meets the Buddha and he becomes a monk, and his friends, 54 friends, they also become monks. So first 5 monks and then Yasa 6 and 54 friends, 60 people, all of them become arahants. So after the Vasa, then the Buddha uh, calls them and tells them, look, whatever had to be achieved, that all of you have achieved. Now go forth. Charata bhikkhave charikang. Now you go forth. Go by charika, walk. Bahujana hitaya, bahujana sukhaya, lokanukampaya. Bahujana hitaya means for the welfare of many, many people, for the happiness of many people. Lokanukampaya, out of compassion for the world. Go forth, wander, and teach this Dhamma. Desetha, this Dhamma, teach this Dhamma, which is Adi Kalyanang, Majje Kalyanang, Pariyosana Kalyanang, and then Sa Athang, Sathang Sabbenjanang. That means it is full in its meaning. Sabbenjanang, it is full in its expression and grammar and language and everything. That means it is complete in letter and its spirit. Kevala Paripunnang, that which is totally perfect, well taught, perfectly taught. That means there is nothing that needs to be added to it. Paripunnang, just like full moon. You can't add little bit to the full moon to make it perfect. Similarly, Kevala Parisuddham, it is so perfect, there is nothing you need to subtract, to remove from it. You see, there is nothing, which you can say, oh, our Lord Buddha has forgotten this, let me add something to that. Or there is nothing that you can say, oh, our Lord Buddha has said this one something which is useless, let me remove it. No, such thing doesn't exist. That is why it is called Swakhato Bhagavata Dhamma. That's why it is well taught. Kevala Paripunnang, Kevala Parisuddhang, and Brahmacharyang Pakaseti. The holy life. Brahmacharya means holy life. Not just celibate life, but the holy life that leads to enlightenment. That is the quality of the Dhamma. So the Buddha says, go and teach this Dhamma which has these qualities, this purity, this wonderful nature. Only good, 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 good. It is like eating laddu. When you eat laddu, it doesn't matter from which corner you eat. It is only tasty. It is only sweet. Very, very tasty. Whether you eat from this side or this side or this side, every aspect of the Dhamma is so noble, so good result oriented. That is why it is Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo. There is not one word of the Buddha which has gone waste. There is not one word of the Buddha which is not going to help. Maybe if it has not helped you, then it is helping somebody else. You may understand gathas and you are inspired, but somebody may be inspired by suttas. Somebody may be inspired by jatakas. Somebody may be inspired by analysis, or somebody may be inspired by question answers. So this Dhamma, that's why it is in totality, every aspect, in every ways. So this Dhamma is taught, which is divided into three groups. That is Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Vinaya Pitaka means the teachings that the Buddha gave for the monks and monastic life, the rules, regulations, manners, etiquettes, how to live. Monastic life is not easy. In grahastha life, in householder's life, there is no rule. Anybody and everybody can live in any way. But monastic life is not like that. It has to be lived in certain way, because the monastic life is dedicated for the achievement of enlightenment. And that will not come just by haphazard, unorganized way of life. So the Buddha gave rules, wonderful rules called Patimokkha, 227 for bhikkhus, 311 for bhikkhunis. They are called Patimokkha. That means those rules which take to enlightenment, vimokha. So all these are contained in Vinaya Pitaka about monastic life. Very, very minute things, unbelievable. The Buddha found enlightenment not in big, some philosophical, some intellectual acrobatics. The Buddha was concerned about life, and that life was maybe how you kept your robes, how you swept your vihara, like that. Really, they are very amazing. So all that is contained in Vinaya Pitaka, mainly for monks and nuns, and also a lot of things are related to lay people, how uh, uh, in what way they have to behave, especially with the monastics. And also it contains certain amount of very, very valuable uh, historical document, we can say, the life of the Buddha himself and the way of life, and the things they used, and many things. For example, a lot of things about medicines, how the Buddha advised if monks are sick, what kinds of medicines and all those things. Very amazing document of those days. So that is Vinaya Pitaka. Next is Sutta Pitaka. Sutta Pitaka is discourses of the Buddha. There are many different kinds of discourses. There were discourses which Lord Buddha gave, sometimes whole night or whole day or half day, hours together, very, very long ones. So these are called dirgha, long discourses. There are middle length discourses. There are small discourses. Now, Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Samyukta Nikaya, the discourses relating to certain subject, they are grouped in Samyukta Nikaya. Anguttara Nikaya, numbered discourses. That means what are the things related to one thing. This is one thing, this is one thing, this is one thing. These are two things, these are two things, these are two things, like that. So many things the Buddha explains about twos, threes, fours, like that. Number increases up to 11. So Anguttara Nikaya, then Khuddaka Nikaya, that is collection of 18 books like Dhammapada, Udana, Itivuttaka, and all these things. Theragatha, Therigatha, Vimanavattu, Petavattu. These are all very, very wonderful teachings of the Buddha, and also the teachings of his great disciples. So now this is Sutta Pitaka, where the normal teachings are given to monks, nuns, lay people, sometimes devas, so many discourses, and they are useful for everybody, so that they can be practiced by everybody, and each discourse gives immense benefit. And then there is Abhidhamma Pitaka. Abhidhamma Pitaka deals, the Buddha deals Abhidhamma Pitaka in the ultimate realities. That means, for example, uh, we can say, okay, this is a human being, this person so and so. But in Abhidhamma Pitaka, it is not so and so. This is Ananda, this is Kusala, this is Manik or Sangha or Meena or somebody. No. There, the Buddha will be saying, this is Nama and Rupa, mind and body. This is the Chitta, this kind of state of mind. This is the factor of the mind. This is the quality of the physical body, matter. So not this person, that person, but ultimate realities. So that is Abhidhamma Pitaka, and that is the biggest part of Tripitaka. So now this Tripitaka came to us not so easily. It came to us with great dedication of so many dedicated practitioners. From the time of the Buddha, all that is taught, 84,000 Dhammakhandas, they were passed on through Sanghayanas. Sanghayana means a great council of enlightened monks. After the Buddha passed away, just after he passed away, even before the cremation, already somebody said, oh, now the Buddha is gone, let us do what we like. You see? So Kassapa Mahathera, the great disciple, one of the great disciples of the Buddha, when he heard, he thought, oh, this is a great alarm. Even when the Buddha's the body is still here, not yet cremated, already people have started speaking like this. Means what will happen in future? So we should be very grateful to our Kassapa Thera Mahathera, who convened the first Sanghayana. 500 Arhants were gathered there, all Arhants with high attainments, analytical knowledge, Patisambhida Jnana. That means they know the Dhamma totally by memory. They know the words, the meaning, the intrinsic meaning, the explanation, everything. Such 500 monks, they gathered and they recited. Venerable Upali Arhant, Maha-Arhant, he recited the Vinaya Pitaka. And that whole Vinaya Pitaka was composed, and then it was declared, nobody will add one word, nobody will subtract one word from this. This is what the Buddha had taught. And all the 500 Arhants, great Arhants, they agreed, this is the word of the Buddha. Then Venerable Ananda, another great Maha-Arhant, he recited Sutta and Abhidhamma, both. And every part by part, and all of them were scrutinized by these 500 Arhants. And when everybody approved, then only it was made as the word of the Buddha, and that is how Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka, all the three were preserved. And that was taught to the disciples, and they passed on it to the next disciples. And after 100 years, again some mix-up started. Once again, a second Sanghayana was convened by one king called Kalasoka in Vaishali. And again, great Arhants, they recited and they said, this is Tripitaka. Nobody can add or subtract. And again, time passed, 250 years around. when great Emperor Ashoka was ruling. At that time, once again, some pollution started. He convened the third Sangayana, and in this third Sangayana, it was recited once again, and it was made very strong, Bhadra. And then Ashoka Maharaja sent his own son, Maharahanta Mahinda, and Maharahanta Sangamita Theri to Sri Lanka, and they went there and they taught the Dhamma, and it was preserved in Sri Lanka. And in the around first century BC, around 80 to 90 BC, that time there was attack, and monks and monasteries were getting destroyed. So these wise monks, they went into the mountains in Aluvihara. There they recited once again. And this time they thought, oh, it is coming by memory, and their memory was very, very sharp and very accurate. So this faculty will become weaker and weaker. In future, the people will not be able to remember. So let us put it into writing. So in the fourth Sangayana, it was put it into writing. So that is how it was preserved. And from that time onwards, it came down up to our time. In our recent times, means about 200 years, say in 1879, around that time, fifth Sangayana was conducted in Mandalay, in Myanmar. And there the Tripitaka was written on marble stones, which are visible even today. So that is how it was preserved. And then the sixth one was held much recently in 1954, 55, 56 to mark 2500 years of Buddha Jayanti. So the sixth Sangayana was held in Rangoon in Myanmar. And here the whole Tripitaka, the commentaries, Atthakatha, the Tikas, sub-commentaries, all were printed in the form of books. Over 140 volumes it was printed. So this way the Tripitaka has come up to our time. It is not just some kind of writing by somebody and explanation by somebody. No, the word of the Buddha, very, very honestly, faithfully, respectfully preserved at the cost of life. They have passed on. That is how it has come. So this Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo, this noble teaching which is well taught by the Buddha, is Sanditthiko, the second quality. That is, it is you can see here and now, experience here and now. Every word of the Buddha you can experience here and now. Sanditthiko, Akaliko. Immediately it brings a result, and it is timeless for all times. During the time of the Buddha it was relevant. Today also it is relevant. Let it be a farmer, an engineer, a doctor, an officer, a business person, or a politician, or a scientist. Everybody needs it even today. That's why scientists like Einstein and such people, they also took to this path, and they said, oh, this is the only way, because it has to go beyond belief systems and just living in the world of concepts. Those who want the proof, those who live with experiments and the results, the Buddha gives one thing more, that is experience. Not just experiment on the table and the result out there, but experience inside, much more nearer to you. So that's why, whether it is scientists or great philosophers, any seeker of truth will certainly will come to this Dhamma. So it is Akaliko Yehi Pasiko. Come and see. Not come and believe. The Buddha did not say, come and believe and worship and worship and worship. I will send you to Nirvana or this heaven or that heaven. No. The Buddha came, you come, you taste. If I eat laddu, I am enjoying. You are not enjoying. The Buddha says, you also taste it. You also really experience that taste. And when that taste is given, the Buddha gives the tastable Dhamma, that which you can really experience, not something which you have to keep on looking at it. No. Ehi Pasiko, come and see. Ehi Pasiko, Opanaiko, that which leads higher and higher upwards. Any step, even little bit you practice, it will never take you down. It always leads upwards. That is the nature of the Dhamma, quality of the Dhamma. You see? And Pachatang Veditabbo Vinyuhiti, and every individual, Pachatang, Pratyek, apne aap se. Veditabbo, experience. One has to experience. Anubhav karna hai. Pachatang Veditabbo Vinyuhi. By whom? Wise people. Everyone who experiences will become wise and wise and wise, and that person will experience more and more and more. Like that, this Dhamma will take upwards. You see, these 6 qualities of the Buddha, it is very well taught, completely taught. Here and now, you can experience here and now. Sanditiko, Akaliko, it is timeless. Yehi Pasiko, it comes, it welcomes for inquiry. Come and see, inquire yourself. And then Opanaiko takes higher. And Pachatang Vedita Bhavinu. It makes every individual to experience for oneself. What a wonderful Dhamma it is. Unbelievable. Beyond all kinds of ignorance. Absolute mechanism, we can say, a very, very high mechanism that we can use to open our hearts to all kinds of realities up to ultimate reality. That is the Dhamma our Supreme Buddha has taught. So my dears, this Dhamma is nothing but truth, explained in 4 noble truths, or Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination. So in many, many ways, the Buddha has explained. So this Dhamma, next it becomes refuge. How it becomes refuge? You contemplate on this. When you contemplate these qualities, you bring them. Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo, the Buddha, how he is teaching. Sanditiko, Akaliko, Yeipasiko. Learn these Pali Gathas. These Pali Gathas are so, they are fully infused and imbued with the power of the Buddha himself, the power of enlightenment. So learn them and remember, recollect. Dhamma Anusati. You are bringing that quality into mind. When you bring that, you remember that, the meaning of that, then what will happen? You will see as if our Supreme Buddha is sitting in front of us and he is teaching us. And like that, you will get immense respect and faith in the Buddha and in the Dhamma. And with this faith in this one, you get joy, lot of joy, because If you have practiced Panchashila, even with one Shila, say you have had compassion for beings not killing, that gives joy here and now. Instead of stealing and cheating, you have given dana. How much joy it gives here and now. And you are very faithful to your partner, just remembering that, how much joy it gives. So here and now it brings joy and happiness. That is the purpose of Dhamma, giving joy. Yesterday I told you the Buddhism is nothing but path of happiness and enlightenment. And when you make this Dhamma, when you bring this Dhamma qualities, remember these Dhamma qualities, then it becomes, your body becomes like a Buddha temple. Just like Dhamma is enshrined in your body. Uh, the Buddha is enshrined in the temple like that. Dhamma is enshrined in you. So what a wonderful thing. And when you have this Dhamma, you are moving forward. And then it becomes a very helping guide. It brings a sense of shame and fear to do wrong things or not to do good things. And above all, it removes fear and worries, tensions, confusions, delusions. And then it becomes your protection. When you have Dhamma in your heart, no negativities can come and affect you. The real protection will start coming. All the noble ones will start protecting you. So that is the power of Dhamma taught by the Buddha. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Sangha also. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Sami Chipatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. You see, this Sangha, Savaka Sangha, the Sangha of the noble disciples of the Buddha. Here this Sangha means Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami and Arahant. The 4 stages of enlightenment. By dropping your defilements, you will go higher and higher. You will become a Sotapanna, Sagadagami, Anagami, Arahant by removing your defilements. So when you remove Sakkaya, Ditti, Vichikicha, Sila, Bata, Paramasa, 3 fetters, they are called bondages. Those which bind you to suffering. One is Sakkaya Ditti, the view that this is I, this is mine, I, mine. When you remove that one, and Vichikicha, doubts, all doubts about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha and yourself and practice and all these things. When the mind is very clear about all the things you do, that is a very great achievement. And Silabhata Paramasa, attachment to rites and rituals, holding on to this and that, thinking that this will bring me ultimate happiness and like that. See, going away from the Noble Eightfold Path, all that is rites and rituals and your attachment. The horrible thing is attachment. How many people in India are attached to how many kinds of rites and rituals? Anything that is not according to the Noble Eightfold Path, that which is not conducive for the purification of your heart, that is right and ritual. It doesn't matter whether it is in any field, in religious field or in other fields also. So that attachment to these rites and rituals will keep you holding on to the bondage. So when you remove this Sakkaya Ditti, Vichikicha, and Silabhata Paramasa, the mind becomes so uh, developed and matured enough where wisdom can arise. The wisdom of Four Noble Truths will arise in such a way that you are able to experience Nibbana for the first time. So that is the first level, and you become a Sotapanna. And when you become Sotapanna, all the karmic bondage and heaps of karmic luggage is all gone. Only 7 lives at the most you will be born, and you are free from the especially lower words. What a great achievement! The Buddha says it is much better than any kingship or the lordship over the Deva word or becoming a great powerful this and that. Becoming Sotapanna is more worthwhile because you have done something profound change in your heart. And then next defilements like greed and attachment to these sense objects and sensuality and anger. When somebody reduces them, that person becomes Sagadagami. That means that person is able to be born only one more time and then he will be Arahant. And one who removes these two completely, that person becomes Anagami. That means he is no more coming to the sensual world, but in what we call Suddhavasa, in high Brahma levels. And then another 5 subtle, even more subtle and very deep bondages, fetters, defilements are there. One is attachment to very subtle levels of mental states. When you meditate, say if you enter into jhanas, first jhana, second jhana, third, they are deep levels of concentration. And if you hold on to them, then still that attachment is there. So you overcome that Rupa Raga and Arupa Raga. There are levels without any matter, only mental states that you overcome. Then you overcome Mana. Mana is conceit, and Uddhacha, that is distraction, and Avidya, that is ignorance. So when all these other 5 are also gone, that person becomes Arahant. One who is totally free from all defilements, all kinds of defilements. So mind is free, absolute freedom. And that person is totally free from defilements, and that because of that all kinds of karmic bondage, and that means all kinds of suffering. So these are the 4 levels. So the people who have attained these 4 levels are Sangha. So it consists of bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, and upasakas and upasikas. Those who have become Sotapanna, Sagadagami, and during the time of the Buddha, there were millions of them. Not only human beings, among other states of existence, even they all constitute this Sangha. So they are well established. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. That means they are established on this practice path. Ujupatipanno, that means straight path, that which will lead to Nibbana, nowhere else. Nyayapatipanno Bhagavata, and every step that is taken on this path gives full justice. That means it takes to the ultimate Nibbana. And Samichi Patipanno, that is the proper path, avoiding all extremes, taking the middle path, Majjhima Patipada. So this is how they are established. That is why they are the noble Sangha. And then because of that, what are the other qualities? They are Ahuneyo, Pahuneyo, Dakhineyo, Anjali Karaniyo. Ahuneyo, they are the real worthy people of offerings. And then Pahuneyo, hospitality. Just like if your relative or some very good friend comes and you try to do the best and to give the best of hospitality. So the real worthy people are these people. Give that hospitality. Dakhineyo, the real worthy people to give dana, gift. Anjali Karaniyo, the real people to worship with our palms on our head and with our head on the floor. Real worthy people. And then Anuttaro, Avneyo, Pavneyo, Dakhineyo, Anjali Karaniyo, Anuttarang Punya Khetang Lokasa. They are the incomparable field of merit. Merit. If you want to do merit, you need to do merit. Merit means punya. That means that which purifies the mind. Good actions. The real meritorious actions you can do in many different ways, thousands of ways. But when you offer, when you worship, when you listen Dhamma from the Sangha, the noble Sangha, that is incomparable merit. Just like there is a field, there are different kinds of fields. One kind of field where you put the seed, it may not sprout. Another kind of field where it may sprout a little bit and give little yield. Another one more yield. But there is one very fertile field where you put a seed, a very good crop you can harvest. In the same way, when you want to harvest merits, then there is nothing like this noble Sangha. So this Sangha, noble Sangha, consisting of these 4 Aryas, they are called Arya Puggala, the noble people who have experienced Nibbana and who have dropped certain defilements. Once for all, never will they arise again, those defilements. Imagine if you are free from anger, once for all, how it will be? When you are not having anger, like right now listening to Dhamma, you don't have anger. You are enjoying this peace, this Dhamma. But that anger may come later on. But if that is gone forever, what a wonderful state, isn't it? See how our Supreme Buddha takes us to such levels. That is the compassion of the Buddha and the real truth of the Dhamma and the achievement of the Sangha. So this Sangha is consisting of these 4 areas, and then another is Bhikkhu Sangha or Bhikkhuni Sangha. They are like extended Sangha or the representation Sangha or conventional Sangha. So the Sangha that the Supreme Buddha established for the intensive practice of Dhamma, that Sangha has come up to our time, and this Bhikkhu Sangha has preserved the teaching of the Buddha by learning, by pariyatti, by learning, by practice, and by teaching to the next generations. 2,600 years is not a small time. It is such a long time, and still it is existing, means it is because of this Sangha, this Bhikkhu Sangha, who have dedicated their life for the study and practice and preaching of the Dhamma. So that is extended Sangha of this noble Sangha, because there is only one goal for this Bhikkhu Sangha or Bhikkhuni Sangha, that is to become enlightened. As simple as that. So that is another clarity you must have. So now this Sangha is very great protection. Even now there are enlightened people, even now there are enlightened monks, and even now there are enlightened beings. So they will surely protect. When you are walking on the path of Dhamma, surely you will be protected. They will be very dear to you. Wise people will become dear to you. You see, when you are like if you have if you are a good person, you will have good person around, people around who are your friends. And if you need some help, surely they will help. And that is how, if you are walking on the path, then this Sangha will help you. Not only help you, they will protect you. You see, the Sangha, because they have gone beyond and they have realized. And when you bring these noble qualities into your heart, then what happens? Happiness will arise, bliss will arise, your reverence to the Sangha will arise, and your performance of good actions will arise. When you have noble thoughts, noble state of mind, more and more and more, already you are protected from so much of danger, so much of negativity, so much of problems within your family. If you are blissful and if you speak some sense to your family members, isn't it good? Maybe that is happening once in a day or once in a week now. If you increase it more and more, 2 times a day, 3 times a day, 10 times a day, all times a day, whenever you interact with your family members and relatives and friends, everything is so beautiful. Isn't it a great gift that you can give? So when you take sarana in the Sangha, that is what is going to that is what the Sangha brings you. Here and now, that great joy and bliss, and here and now protection from negativity, from within and also from without. From outside also it protects. The Sangha quality in you itself will protect. So it is said that when you have these Sangha qualities, remembering, Anusati, then it is said that it is like the Uposatha hall. Uposatha hall is a Sima hall where the Sangha gathers once in 15 days or whenever the Sangha Karma is done. And they do this recitation of this Patimokha and other things. Any Sangha issue is taken up, it is done in a very particular place called Sima, a limited area, that is certain Sima. In our monastery we have Sima. Only in Sima Bhikkhu ordination is given. Only in Sima this Uposatha by Bhikkhus is done. Only in Sima there are certain other performances of the Sangha are conducted. So this Sima is a very, very holy place. So when you have the Sangha qualities in your heart, it is like you are in the Sima. The Sangha it is gathered in the Sima. So the Sangha has gathered in your temple, in your Sima. So when you bring Dhamma, it is like Buddha temple. When you bring the Sangha, it is like Sima temple. You see? So wonderful. And then once you are on with this Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, be sure that all the noble, this word is not empty of this such noble Sangha. It is in fact filled with this noble Sangha. Or those who are respecting this noble Sangha, human beings and divine beings and everybody. And when you are walking on this path, lot of help will come, lot of protection will come, no danger will come. So that is why it is said by the Buddha, it is in Dhajagga Sutta. In Dhajagga Sutta, the Buddha teaches that you may land in some danger. Say if you are going to, he tells to the monks, if you are going to forest or here and there, you may land in danger. And that applies to lay people also. That danger can come in any moment, any time of the day, from any corner. So the Buddha says, contemplate on the Buddha and that Buddha will become protection. Contemplate on the Dhamma, that will become protection. Contemplate on the Sangha, that will become protection. Evang Buddhang Sarantanang Dhammang Sanghang Cha Bhikkhave Bhayang Va Chambi Tattang Va Lomahang Sorna Hesati. So like that, if you Evang Buddhang Sarantanang, if you take refuge in the Buddha, Dhammang Sanghang Cha Bhikkhave, and you also take refuge in the Dhamma and the Sangha, Bhayang Va Chambi Tattang Va. Bhaya means fear. Chambi Tattang is uh, you are fully afraid, and this even hairs will start standing on your body. You are really shocked. You are shocked. So like fears and shock and dangers, all those things will not come. Evang buddhang sarantanang dhammang sanghang cha bhikkhave bhayang va chambi tattang va domahang sova na hesati. All those things will not come. Domahang so, this hair raising, this one, all those things will not come. Isn't it a real protection, big protection? And it is not a false protection, it is the real protection. You try it out. You try it out every day. Every day take Trisarana and Panchashila. Every day do recollect this Buddha-Dhamma Sangha. This recollection of Buddha-Dhamma Sangha, we do it as Buddha Vandana, Dhamma Vandana and Sangha Vandana. It is not rite and ritual. It is not some kind of just chanting and doing for the sake of formality and other things. It is to bring the real qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. In the beginning it may be formality, in the beginning it may be without much meaning, but that is how it starts. Even then it is good. Even then at least few moments you are having wholesome chittas, and that is how it becomes stronger and stronger. So these are the qualities of the Sangha and the protection of Sangha. So we have 9 qualities of the Buddha, 6 qualities of the Dhamma, and 9 qualities of the Sangha. Learn them and practice them. Total 24 qualities. 24 qualities are also depicted in the Dharma Chakra. 24 spokes of Dharma Chakra represent these 24 qualities of triple gem. They also represent 24 qualities of the 4 noble truths. So that Dhamma Chakra has been coming till our time. So we are fortunate today that we have the Buddha, we have the Tripitaka, we have, even though in India it lost Buddhism, it existed in the neighboring countries, they preserved it, and we are fortunate to get it back. So for 5,000 years, it will not be destroyed anyway. It will not go. The Buddha Shasana is 5,000 years. It may come up and go here, but somewhere else it will come up. Like that, it will go on. So now is the chance. We are born as human beings. Don't waste this chance. Use this great opportunity. Not just as a human being. There are billions of people. Not everybody gets chance to get in contact with the Dhamma, with the Buddha. That we have got. And having heard this, now don't let it go. Don't just throw it away. Imbibe it into your life, your family people, your children, your relatives, your friends. Not as a sectarian, what you call a group, a religious group or a sectarian group or something. Don't reduce it to lower levels. When you become the follower of the Buddha, you will become a Buddhist or Dhammist or Sanghist, whatever you call. The names don't matter. People are fighting with these names. But the fact is, become follower of the Buddha, a true Buddhist. That means by bringing Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha in your heart. So these 3 are the highest refuge. If you take refuge in the money, you get food and living. You take refuge in the banduk, this gun and arms and ammunition, then you will start fighting and you get protection from some enemies or somebody like that. If you take refuge in certain belief systems, okay, temporary fears will come, so you can think that, oh, I believe this and that, and with that belief you manage to cover it up, and somehow you get through this one. And if you take refuge because of greed, oh, may I get this, may I get that, okay, you may get those things. But if you want Nibbana, the ultimate enlightenment, then you have to go to Buddha-Dhamma Sangha for refuge. There is no other way. So, with this words, I would like to conclude. Now, we can open up for questions, Pankaj ji.
Vandami Bhante, thank you very much for a good discourse on Dhamma, Sangha, Guna, or the nature of Dhamma and Sangha. Thank you very much, Bhante. We will open up the forum for question and answer. I just wanted to make sure that people are able to send their questions now. If you wanted to, I know like when the messages pop up, when Bhante is speaking, it gets disturbing to the other people. So I do wanted to request people that if you have to exchange pleasantries and show your respects to Bhante, either you do at the beginning of the class or you can do it now before we move on to the question and answer. But once the question answer starts to come up, you exchanging a lot of pleasantries, it makes it very difficult for me to go through the questions, and I don't want to lose any questions that people wanted to ask. So that's the only request I have. So Bhante, I'll just start with the questions that I have seen earlier. Okay, Bhante. So the question is related to how one can see if someone is Sotapanna or Ariya, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, or Arhant. What kind of qualities do these Ariyas have that one can identify or help them identify?
These Ariyas, these people, there is nothing physical appearance as such that you can identify. You have to live with them and take benefit of them. So whether somebody is this or that, instead of going in judging what other person is, so it would be much better what I have to do, what I have to develop. So if you really want to know, then you have to live and realize that's all. That is the way. And maybe some monks, they may tell to their disciples when it is necessary for explanation and other things. So that kind of things may come up. Like that, one may understand. And if somebody tells like that, it is possible. So, but best thing is to learn from as many teachers possible and then put into practice. So instead of judging, but they themselves know. Whoever has become Ariyas, of course, they know because of their wisdom.
Okay, thank you very much, Bhante. Bhante, what is the difference between Nibbana and death?
Nibbana and
Death.
death. Nibbana is another dimension of experience. Death is related to our body, this life, this nama rupa, this body and mind, the changing of body and mind. That is death. Nibbana is another dimension of freedom from all suffering and freedom from all conditionality. It is unconditioned state of experience. So Nibbana, people call somebody's death as, oh, he attained to nirvana, this and that. All that is misconception. That word should not be used for somebody's death. Uh, that is not proper. Death is a person dies and this body gets destroyed, and mind, if that person is not arahant, then that mind continues, mental flow, I mean, that continues. So this nama rupa, that is death, that is death. So nibbana is entering into unconditioned state of experience.
Okay, Bhante. Your next question is Bhanga Jnana, the experience in Vipassana, is a precondition to Nibbana?
These are all stages. Of course, Bhanga Jnana is a very important stage. These 16 jnanas will be coming one after the other, and there is no shortcut, or it will come, it will happen. It is not that one after another you have to wait and see and catch it. No. If you are practicing, these things will happen. Sometimes happens gradually, one by one, we get together. So that one need not worry, but one should put into practice and keep on practicing. And these stages will come, and naturally you will pass through it. Just like if you are going, I gave yesterday from Bengaluru to Chennai. I am in South India, so South Indian this one. Then all the cities that will come the way you will be crossing. So like that, this Bhanga Jnana or Bhaya Jnana or Adi Nava Jnana or Nibbida Jnana or whatever jnanas, all these will come up to Anuloma, up to Gotrabhu, up to then you become Sotapanna, Magga Jnana, Phala Jnana, and then Panchavekkhana. After attaining that state, there is reviewing of that. Till then, all these things will happen. So, of course, it is necessary.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Bhante, this question is moksha possible in Buddhism?
Moksha means freedom from suffering, and that is possible. That is arahanthood. That freedom from suffering is possible by freedom from defilements. So that is possible. That is the purpose. So if you want to call that state as moksha, that is surely possible, and that is real moksha, not moksha in the sense of getting free from one problem and landing into another state, which may turn out again another problem. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. This question is there any scope for females to be monk, and are they safe in this world?
Female monks whom we call nuns. For example, in Taiwan, I heard there are more nuns than monks. And so also now in Myanmar, there are nuns, sayales, and in Thailand or in Sri Lanka, there are monasteries. But in India, unfortunately, still we are lagging behind because first of all, we need certain trained nuns who can start such nunneries and then take ladies and train them. This process, even we tried, it is quite difficult to find people people who can. In India, it is not so much, but there are some Tibetan nunneries, few of them, and they are running very well. Near Mysore here, there is a nunnery with 500-600 with Tibetan tradition, but not in our Theravada tradition. But it
Okay,
is
Bhante.
possible.
Right. Right. So Bhikkhuni Sangha is there and it's possible for somebody to join it if they want to.
Yes.
Yes, right. Okay. Bhante, your next question is related to chanting. The question is, chanting, should we know Pali language or we should just listen? Is it necessary to do it in Pali only?
Yes.
What is, yeah, what is it that the chanting is offering, doing it day to day, that the people can benefit from it?
You see certain things like Trisarana, Panchashila, Buddha-Dhamma, Sangha Vandana. It is good to do in Pali and also to understand the meaning. And the other suttas, when it is possible to recite in Pali, good, but also it is important to know the meaning. Uh, so little bit of difficulty, little bit of trouble we have to take. Then we are to learn, because today we may say, okay, Pali is not needed, we will manage with this language, that language, and then you teach to somebody else. That person understands in certain way, that person will teach to somebody else. Within few years, forget about generation, by few passing ons, it gets distorted, the meaning gets distorted. So the best thing is our Bada Banteji, Acharya Buddha Rakita, we have been publishing the Tripitaka. What we do is we put in Kannada language, and in Telugu we are translating 29 volumes we have already printed in Kannada. We put Pali on left side in Kannada Akshar, and in right side we put the translation of that. So we can see the Pali, Buddha's own word, and also the translation. Though we understand translation more and better and easily, but still Pali is there. Why? Because there may be mistake in translation. We don't want to pass on that mistake to next generation. We always say whether this translation is right or wrong, here is the Pali, take this one. So, and apart from that, to recite these words of Buddha are very inspiring. So we can start with Trisarana, Panchashila, and later on other suttas. But always try to understand the meaning. Just the chanting is also not enough. We have to understand the meaning.
Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, the next question is, on Uposatha Day, lay people are advised to wear white clothes. Will it not give any attachment to color?
White clothes is just a symbol of some kind of simplicity and purity. If you feel that you are becoming attached to white cloth, then leave it. You wear what you like and take Ashtashila and do your Uposatha. And in the name of getting white cloth, if you become stressed and tensed and forced and all that torture starts, then leave it. If you are happy to do yourself happily, then do it. Otherwise, leave it. That is not. It is just outer symbol.
Okay, Bhante, your next question is, what is Uposatha? And what are the days to observe that?
Uposatha is every new moon day, full moon day, and in between Ashtamis. These 4 days in a month are called Uposatha days. Uposatha days means the days where you dedicate yourself for more intensive practice of the Dhamma and normally undertake 8 precepts, Ashtashila, along with these 5 Shilas. Panatipata, Dinadana, instead of Kamesu Michachara, that day you take Brahmacharya Veramani, Musavada and Surameraya. Along with that, you take Vikala Bhojana. That means after 12 o'clock, you give up your eating, just like monks and nuns. No eating after 12 o'clock. And Nacha Gita Vadita, Visuka Dasana. That means all entertainments and singing and dancing and decorating and making fashion and such things, all these are related to what you say, um, um, sense involvements where you have the sense of I, you strengthen I-ness. So at least for one day, the rest of the days you are engaged in those things. At least one day you give break to those things, and then with simplicity, not very high, thick beds, very comfortable luxury. So that day you live very simple life for 24 hours. So that is called Uposatha on new moon day, full moon day, and in between Ashtamis. So at least, if possible, all the four you practice. If possible, new moon and full moon, or if possible, at least one day. Or if these nowadays these days come on working days, so you can take up Ashtashila on holiday where you are at home and tell your people and just enjoy this day, doing little puja, meditation, and undertaking precepts and like that. That is Uposatha.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Bhante, your next question is the 30 related to 31 planes of existence. Do 31 planes really exist, or just the stages of consciousness?
They have both. They are the stages of consciousness, and the beings exist in those with that kind of consciousness. Just like we exist with our human consciousness, dogs exist with their dog consciousness. That is not the end. The devas exist with their consciousness. The beings with that consciousness, something, the existence has to be there. It can't be just with ourselves, no? So it is both. It is the level of consciousness and also different planes of existence.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, this question is related to in Sangha. How did they unite people out of different class, caste, religious beliefs, sectarian views? Is it possible in India with this sort of a stringent sectarian society?
It doesn't matter India or the world. The Buddha opened up and he even gave the example of the dream he had seen as a bodhisattva. He was there and four color birds came, and the moment they touched, they sat on him, they became all white. And then he interpreted and he said, all kinds of people will come to me from all sects and caste and religion and all those people. Once they come to me, they will lose all their identities and they will become one. Just you will become one, the truth seeker. You see? So in the Sangha of the Buddha, there is absolutely no distinction. And that has kept this Sangha going. And wherever such distinctions arose in those groups, it got destroyed. As simple as that. So that's why even when somebody comes from totally different kinds of background and any kind of belief system, everybody is welcome, but they are kept here or 6 months or like a few months till they also get to know, they also get to opportunity to change, because the attachment to views is much more stronger. People are ready to give their life. Such is the attachment to views. And when you want to go on this path, many of such things you have to drop. Not easy, not easy. But the Buddha has in the Sangha, uh, the monks help each other to overcome these difficulties, and that is how it keeps on building. And it goes on, and it is possible. And we have in our monastery from many different backgrounds, all kinds of backgrounds.
Okay, Bhante, your next question is, who are the successors to Buddha?
Who are the
successors to Buddha?
successors?
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
successors. The Buddha did not appoint any individual as the successor. The Sangha is the successor. This you can see how it is a great wonder. If successor system existed, then with the death of that successor, many things will also vanish. Instead of that, the Buddha said, when I am gone, make this Dhamma Vinaya as your role model, your guidance, and this Sangha should continue according to that Dhamma Vinaya. So that is how it is going on. You see, just like one example I will give. The Buddha, after his enlightenment, he sat 1 week under that Bodhi tree. And next week he stood in front of that Bodhi tree. He goes little further and looks at this Bodhi tree for 1 week. Animesa lochana, without blinking his eyes. And with lot of gratitude and for vision, he expresses gratitude. And he instills and infills that Bodhi tree with his enlightenment, and he makes that as his kind of symbol of enlightenment. And now that Bodhi tree, I'm giving this example in terms of material things. That Bodhi tree has come till our times. We see so many Bodhi trees representing the Buddha's enlightenment. There were also statues and temples. You see, those got broken down. Whereas the system, that which can continue uh, in its this one, that is how it survives. So also the Sangha, the teachers pass on to the disciples, disciples pass on to the disciples. That is how it has come down. No one successor. Among the Sangha, it is very simple. When we meet another monk, we ask, oh, how many vasa? That means how many years you are monk. And that person says, say, I'm 10 vasa. And this monk is 5 vasa. Then this monk will pay respect. If that monk says, I am 3 vasa and this monk is 5 vasa, then this monk will tell, okay, I am 5 vasa. Then that monk will pay respect. So simple, but very, very effective method the Buddha has given. That is how there is no competition, that I am superior, I am low, I am high, this and that. Somebody has become monk even 1 minute early, is senior. The junior will respect. As simple as that. And when it comes to learning, the senior will also learn from junior, junior will also learn from senior. So like that, it goes on and on. That is how it has come to our time.
Bhante, your next question is related to day-to-day life. Sometimes there are situations when you have to break your precepts. Then how do you keep practicing the precepts and continue towards liberation?
You see, the Buddha gives very beautifully this explanation to Rahula, his son Rahula. He becomes monk, and he's practicing. And one day the Buddha goes to him, and Venerable Rahula receives the Buddha. He washes his feet, and He pays respect. And then the Buddha gives a very beautiful instruction about this. He says, Rahula, become aware before you perform any body action, speech action, or thought. If they are wrong, try to drop them. By chance you did not become aware and you broken that Shila. Or you are breaking that Shila, you are on the way, still going on. In between you become aware, then you stop it and change the course. By chance you have committed that mistake. After that you become aware and analyze, oh, that was my mistake. That I will not do again. And you take, that is how you change. You determine, if you have done good things, you determine to do again. If you have done wrong thing, you say, okay, I will not do it again. So teach yourself. Go to Buddha. Go to Buddha, pay salutation and take Trisarana and Panchashila and make determination. Once again you start. That's why I was telling you, every day, morning, evening, 2 times, take Trisarana and Panchashila. That will help you. That will reduce you. That will give you strength. Why somebody breaks precept? Because there is no strength in the mind. That strength has to be built up. So it is possible by recollection, repeating, go to the elders, teachers, parents, somebody elderly at home, say, sorry, I have done this mistake. Like that, improve. The Buddha doesn't condemn you to hell. He says there is a way. After killing 999, Angulimala became Angulimala Arhant Bhante, a great Arhant. So many such incidents are there. The Buddha says, because there is a possibility to change and get enlightenment, I am teaching you. If that change was not possible, I wouldn't have taught you. So that is the real hope. If there is anything called hope, that is the real hope, that we can change and become better and better. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, your next question is related to idol worshipping. Are Buddhists against the idol worshipping? And then the specific question is, we have the Buddha statue at the back of your seat. So what is it signifying? What are you trying to do with that?
You see, Buddhists are not idolaters, idol worshippers. We pay respect to the Buddha, and that is the symbol of the Buddha. When we keep this idol here, when you look at the idol, what do you remember? You remember the Buddha. And imagine such a noble teacher, the supreme teacher of all beings, having gone through unlimited, unimaginable suffering as Bodhisattva, sacrificing his life. He has taught us. Today, shouldn't we remember? Are you good enough to remember within your mind all the time? If you are good enough, then no need. Are you able enough? Is your mental power, mental capacity is there so much that it inspires you? For me, looking at the Buddha reminds Buddha. The Buddha is in front of us, and when we pay respect, whole consciousness changes, filled with saddha, remembering the qualities of the Buddha. And shouldn't we express gratitude? We keep the photos of our elders who have passed away, mother or father or grandmother, grandfather. Don't we keep their photos in our houses? And remember, respect them. Those who have given birth and given food and education, we respect. And here is a person who has given us the path of enlightenment, freedom from all sufferings, not just from hunger, some this and that. Shouldn't we respect? Surely. So we have to understand we are not idolaters. We are not asking from that idol itself, oh, you give me this, you give me that. No. By recollecting the Buddha's qualities, we develop our mind. And when we worship the Buddha, for example, here, every day worshipping and doing meditation, surely that creates very powerful vibration in this area, in our temples. We can see people come and they feel so happy. They feel so peaceful. That is very common because mind over matter. That happens. And not only human beings, when we have really great atmosphere, even possibility of divine beings coming and worshipping is also there. Many things will happen, but surely it is good.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, your next question is related to meditation and some anger issues. How much the meditation can help people managing their anger? Is meditation sufficient to improve the qualities or the defilements one has in the mind? Or what type of meditation is sufficient to do that or good to do that?
The Buddha taught so many kinds of meditation and meditation techniques. So many. 40 are nicely mentioned in Vishuddhimagga. But anyway, for overcoming anger, once you start following Panchashila, that is the first part of meditation. Meditation means what? Changing the mind. So when you start following the Panchashila, your changing of the mind started. The mind, that which influences your physical actions, verbal actions to do wrong, that part of the mind is changing already. And that is absolutely necessary. Then meditation as a proper practice. You can do metta bhavana, karuna bhavana, mudita bhavana. Apart from anapanasati, apart from this vipassana meditation, these all these uh, different techniques have only one goal: the goal of removing greed, hate, and ignorance. So best is you can combine anapanasati and you can combine with metta bhavana, karuna bhavana, mudita bhavana, and then surely you can overcome anger. And just observe yourself, observe your breath. When anger comes, observe your breath. Make it a habit to watch your breath every day, as many times as possible, in your work, in your sitting, in your eating. Whenever you remember, watch 2-3 breaths. Just 2-3 breaths. Feel your body. Make it as a very strong habit. Then when you are getting angry, you will watch the breath. You will feel what is happening in you. Then you let go. That is very easy. Immediately you focus with the mind with metta. So like that you can overcome anger.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. I'm seeing the same questions again, Bhante. This one more I wanted to take on Uposatha today. Can you please explain the importance of Uposatha?
You see, Uposatha is very essential for lay people because once you are lost in the run of this daily life struggle for existence, how many times you are aware, really aware. You need food, you are aware of food, you are working for food. You need shelter, you are working for shelter. You want for some entertainment, some enjoyment, pleasures, you are working for that and you are getting. But is it all in life? If you want higher, to develop the mind to higher levels, then you have to give a little bit of time and work for that. So at least on these selected days, you put a break to normal running and you stop and you change a little bit and focus on that day, nicely decorate the Buddha, offer flowers, candles, incense, and take Trisarana and Panchashila, if not Ashtashila. Try to take Ashtashila. If it is not possible that day, then take Panchashila at least. And then uh, do puja, then do meditation, and take some books, read some suttas, or if you have a chance to go to Vihara, go and spend that day in Vihara. Ask the teacher, Bhantes or somebody who can teach you Dhamma. Like that, give importance to Dhamma. Practice also. Become more aware, more sensitive. So at least, just like you put on the plug and recharge your battery every day of your mobile phone, at least recharge once in a week. Or once in 15 days, new moon day and full moon day. If not, at least once in a month. If not possible, half day a month. If not possible, quarter day a month. Time is not a thing. You try. So that will put you slowly, it will establish on some very fundamentals of your life. And then you are able to overcome even other difficulties in other areas of your daily life. So this Uposatha is really energizing, activating the real strength, bala of your mind, saddha bala, faith, virya, effort bala, sati bala, samadhi bala, and prajna bala. These are strengthened. So isn't it important? Uposatha, if you don't do that, just imagine, how can you live without that? Not how to do that. You have to think how I can live without that. It is as important as food. Try to do, and those who cannot do, also don't feel bad or sad or depressed or guilty or inferior. Instead, okay, every day I take Trisarana Panchashila and I will practice. I will correct myself, improve myself, and whenever possible, take some retreat. Every year, try to go a few days for retreat, and that is how you can do different ways.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Bhante, this one is again on rites and rituals. People come, worship, offer flowers to Buddha, come to Vihara, offer scents, incense, and light candles, offer flower. How should one see that? Is it just a rite and ritual, or in which way is that helping people to move on the path of Dhamma?
I told you, when you are developing on the Noble Eightfold Path, this is not rite and ritual. What is rite and ritual? Rite and ritual is something, a belief that without performing the right action, some result will come because of some power, some person, some supernatural power, and this and that. And to do that, to achieve that, you are going to do certain activities. That is rite and ritual. But here it is not rite and ritual. When we offer flower to the Buddha, it is a great act of merit, respect to the enlightened Buddha. worship to the enlightened Buddha. And at that time, your mind, if you just look at your mind, what is the state of your mind? It is pure mind, humble mind, respectful mind, and you are recognizing enlightenment of the enlightened Buddha. You are recognizing the noble path shown by the Buddha. You are recognizing the holy Sangha created by the Buddha. This slowly, it gets ingrained on your mind. So it is not right and ritual. But if you are totally believing that, okay, if I have to put some flowers and you are thinking, you are out of the mind and it makes no sense to you, then surely it is right and ritual. Don't do that right and ritual. Do the real wholesome punya karma.
Okay, Bhante, thank you very much, Bhante. Those are all the questions I see. I mean, I have taken few that were relevant to yesterday's class as well today. One more question is coming with respect to the color for the Bhante's uniform or Bhante's chivara. Is there any significance to that? Sometimes the color is little red, sometimes it's orange. Is there any significance to that, Bhante? Just out of curiosity, people are asking those questions.
No, that is this chivara color is originally made from the bark of the trees, fruit trees. So in the time of the Buddha, they used to make dye from these tree bark. So that is how a shade used to come after joining and stitching pieces of cloth. So it used to be dyed from very dark color to the light. Say for example, very dark maroon or brownish color to up to light orange and yellowish color. All shades are okay. How a shade is made, it is done. The important thing is the chivara. There are very specific rules about how it has to be done, the size and how it is staged, how the three chivaras, how a monk can possess, and all those, and how to use it. Those things are more important than color itself. So in different traditions, like different tradition means different monasteries, they adopt certain colors. In our monastery, say this color; in another monastery, little darker color, like a little bit khaki color, or in Myanmar, it is even more dark color. So different kinds of colors are adopted. But there is no such thing called very special meaning. The chivara signifies a very simple wear, used only to cover the body and from the weather. That is the purpose, and this is the symbol of renunciation. In our Indian tradition, this orange color is the fire color. The fire burns. Similarly, the monk's life or the renunciate's life is considered as tapas. One who engages in tapas. Tapas means fire, that which burns. So burning the defilements, that is the purpose of this especially orange color. But in Buddhist tradition, it is not so much limited to that, but it is about using it as a meditation object. The Buddha tells in Satipatthana Sutta also how mindfully one has to use this as a meditation object. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Bhante, this would be our last question for the day. So yesterday, Bhanteji, you talked about the Buddha nature of Buddha. Bhanteji, could you please talk about Buddha nature present in every human being, which can be nurtured further?
Every
The Buddha nature present in every human being, which can be nurtured further.
Sorry, could you tell once again?
Yes, Bhante. Yeah. So the question is, Bhanteji, could you please talk about Buddha nature present in every human being, which can be nurtured further?
Buddha nature. Yes, the Buddha nature is there in everybody. That is why the Buddha gave this great opportunity for Dhamma practice and development. What is Buddha nature? The Buddha nature is to develop wisdom. The faculty of wisdom can be developed, and we can realize the truth of the word, that is anicca, dukkha, anatta, the impermanent, suffering, and anatta, non-self nature, the true nature of nama and rupa, mind and body, the whole universe. So now this wisdom we can develop, we can understand, and since they are very subtle and subtle and subtle, we have to raise our consciousness higher and higher, and the wisdom has to become more stronger and stronger, and we have to become uh, we have to understand these truths. So to develop wisdom, you need all other noble qualities, wholesome qualities. All other wholesome qualities have to be developed. They have to be nurtured, and they are within our heart. When you have one wholesome thought, for example, giving dana, in that one chitta, you have so many chetasikas, wholesome chetasikas. 19 are sure. You have done Abhidhamma course before this fundamental of Buddha-Dhamma course. So 19 wholesome chetasikas are there. Along with that, other chetasikas will come. So nearly 25 wonderful chetasikas and wholesome qualities will develop. So when you nurture these all noble qualities, ultimately contributing to the development of wisdom, and wisdom and compassion, they go hand in hand. The more you understand something, the more compassion comes. Wisdom helps you to become better and better. Compassion will make you to help others to become better and better. They go hand in hand. So these two, when they develop and develop and develop, the perfection of those two qualities, supported by all other noble qualities, that is how a Buddha nature is developed and achieved. So having said that, so what we can do is um, somebody is telling that they could not follow the Sila Vikala Bhojana, and uh, you you see, that's why Uposatha days are once in a week, and one day you try. Once you are expert and you have a lot of confidence, then you can try for more and more days. But one day you can surely try to eat before 12. Before 12, no problem. From morning till 12, you eat one time, two times, three times, whatever. Uh, but after 12, you just don't eat anything. So you try like that and it will happen. In the beginning, you may feel it is difficult. All things are difficult only. They seem to be difficult. They are not difficult. But once you start, you plunge, things will become very easy. And so we will conclude here. There is one more question here in this COVID epidemic. All are in anxiety and feeling fear, and so may all be happy. So with this, one question did not come. I think, I don't know if there was any question. Did anybody say, when I told so much about Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, did you like to say, did you like to have, oh Bhante, please, we want to take Trisarana and Panchashila? Did that thought come in somebody's mind? uh, oh, yes, thank you. So
Yes.
nice to hear that. Okay, now we will do one thing. We will conclude today's program with Trisarana and Panchashila. There are so many yes for that. So that is really, really very heartening to hear that. And um, you see, the more we know the Dhamma, Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, the more nearer we want to go. The more nearer we go, the more we are protected by the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. And as the Buddha says in one of the suttas, it comes, Ekechi buddhang saranang gatase, nate gamissanti apaya bhuming, pahayamanusang dehang, devakayang paripuresan. So Buddha, those who go to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, this refuge, they will not go into the states of suffering. They will not go to the states of suffering. Where even now or when this body is gone, then also they will land in a states of happiness, not in the states of suffering. So, my dear Upasakas and Upasikas, so it will be nice to end today's program with undertaking Trisarana and Panchashila. The Buddha embodiment of infinite number of qualities. Buddho Ananta Guna Sagaro. He is like ocean of qualities. Dhammo Ananta Guna Sagaro. Sangho Ananta Guna Sagaro. So to this Buddha Dhamma Sangha we will worship, and then we undertake the Trisarana and Panchashila. So I will tell you and you please repeat. Visualize the Buddha in front of you as if the Buddha, bright shining Buddha, is standing or sitting and blessing you, and you are paying homage to all the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Please repeat. Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato
bhagavato
arahato
arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato
bhagavato
arahato
arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato
bhagavato
arahato
arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Now the three saranas are over. Now please recite the Panchashila.
Bhante.
Panatipata Veramani.
Panatipata veramani.
Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnadana Veramani.
Adinnadana veramani.
Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu Michchachara Veramani.
Kame sumichchachara veramani.
Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada Veramani.
Musavada veramani.
Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya Majja.
Surameraya majja.
Pamadatthana Veramani.
Pamadatthana veramani.
Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Sadhu sadhu sadhuti saranena saddhing panchaseelang dhammang sadhukang surakhitang katva appamadena sampadetha.
Bhante.
May you protect these precepts with mindfulness, and may this Trisarana and Panchashila protect, they will surely protect you all the time. And today we have paid worship to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Today we have discussed about triple gem, and we discussed about the different aspects of Dhamma. You have listened to the Dhamma. That means a lot of concentration, lot of dedication, lot of time you have given. All these are very strong, meritorious deeds. Punya Kammas, immense power they have got. Let us share this Punya Kammas, Punya merits with all our departed people. Remember all your departed relatives and friends. May all the departed relatives and friends share my merits. May they be free from suffering. May they be happy and progress towards enlightenment. May all the relatives and friends who are here now living, may they share all my merits, my love, my metta, my karuna, and may they be free from suffering. May they enjoy happiness and progress towards Nibbana. And may all people on this earth, especially suffering because of this COVID-19 and other diseases, and not only the diseases, but the fear, tension, anxiety arising because of that. May all share these merits and be peaceful. May they be mindful. May they be wisdomful, so that they don't do wrong action and get infection. Instead, they take care of themselves. May all people be peaceful and happy, free from suffering. May all beings share my merits and be peaceful and happy. May all be happy. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena Sabba Sanghanubhavena Sada Soti Bhavantu Te. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Bhante. Thank you very much.